Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? It's been a little silly around here, if I'm being honest. Not super busy, just lots of things going on. How was your week? This is Darlene with Featherweight Doctor in North Idaho. And this is my favorite show of the week. This is my Friday night sip and sew. We are going to work on a quilting project that I started at the new year. And we are going to hang out and chat. And we're going to have a sip here and there because it's Friday night. Let's see here. Let me go here. Sorry, guys. Let me pull up my feeds. I want to say hi to a few friends. Then we'll get going. All right. Let's see here. I see this live into the control panel. Okay. And now we are looking for, oh, there's me. Okay. Sorry, guys. Slow on here. There I am. Okay, let's see what we got. All right. Okay. All right. We have Elizabeth Sowers on. Hi, Elizabeth. From Indiana. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to sit. This is that kind of day. All right. Let's see here. We have Julie Campbell's on from Tennessee. Hi. Sipping on Mountain Java Moonshine. Well, that doesn't sound terrible. Kathy is on from East Texas. Debbie Allen Sinclair is on. Franny. Kathleen from Montana. Hi, friend. Let's see. Bernadette is here. Kathy Zoka is here. Pauline. Bonnie Pelton. Are there still openings for camp? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There are still openings for camp. Probably not after the end of the month, though. We're going to hit the marketing pretty hard at the Sew Expo that I'm being a presenter at here at the end of the month, and I have a feeling it will be fully full. Is that a thing? Sure. By the time we leave Sew Expo. Hi, Karen. She says, wow, what a week. Amen. Cheers, everybody. I'm drinking a pineapple cider tonight. Oh, Patty Smith is throwing down. She says hi from Kansas City Chiefs territory. Who should I root for on Sunday? I don't have a pony in this race. We're getting together with some friends and watching the Super Bowl. Honestly, not a big football fan. Not a big football fan at all, but I am a huge Super Bowl commercial fan. Huge Super Bowl commercial. Hi, Amy. Alton Stonebrook, did you get my email about the Zoom class tomorrow? Go Chiefs. Hi, Megan from Oregon. Yes, Luna had her surgery this week, Elizabeth, and she's got some bruising that the doctor doesn't like. She kind of freaked me out this morning, actually. So Loon had her spay surgery on Tuesday, and she's been wearing a surgical suit, like a onesie, basically, because I didn't want to have to put a go Chiefs. Well, okay. Featherweight Doctor fan base is Kansas City Chiefs. Got it. Okay, great, Amy. Superb. Hi, Patsy from Central Coast of California. Thanks for saying hi. Sandy Reist. Watching the ads. Yeah, Featherweight Doctor will not have an ad on the Super Bowl. I don't have $7 million lying around. Anyway, Loon had her surgery and she's had a surgical suit on. I haven't even inspected her incision. And then this morning, the little turkey in her crate had ripped it off. So I actually got a good look at her. She's some pretty big bruising in her, under her belly, not at her incision site. And so I thought it was odd. Oh, Kathleen, yeah, there is still seats available at camp, but probably not after the end of this month. Anyway, so I called the vet thinking they'd be like, oh, it's no big deal. And they were like, oh. that's concerning. And I'm like, well, my goodness, now you're freaking me out. What do you mean it's concerning? And they said that it was bruising in the wrong place. And then I have to take a picture of it every day and let them know if it gets any bigger. I know. Here, I'll show you what it looked like. I have a picture. Boop, boop, maybe. Oh, there. Okay, here's my loon. So you can see her little bruises on her belly. Poor girl. Poor little lady. So anyway, I'm keeping an eye on it. Hi, Sheila. How's it going, friend? Oh, good. Good, Kathleen. I actually have a question for you, too, that I'll call you about after I jump off camera. All right, let me get my other camera up here because we're going to do some sewing tonight because it is time for a proper sip and sew. Not just a sip and Darlene chat. We're going to have a proper sip and sew. Okay, I want to share the phone, share camera. Okay, there. And hi, Polly. La. This, I want to put this. Yes, I have been in communication with the vet. They said they don't need to see her yet, but if it gets any worse, then they're going to have to see her over the weekend. Oh, I know, Kathleen, you have my bail money. Trust me, girl, you're my one and only phone call from jail. Okay. So, I know, Luna Lou. She's actually really happy, though. Like, you would never know. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. Oh, where'd I go? Come on, darling. Oh, I'm sorry. You would never know she wasn't feeling well. Okay. There. Now I can sew. Yes, you didn't miss me on Monday. Y'all, I must have been running on pure adrenaline when I landed after Phoenix because I was like fine until Monday afternoon, and then I wasn't fine anymore, and I needed to go home. I think I hit my proverbial wall. Let's see here. I think my son is messaging me, knowing very well that I am on camera right now. He'll just have to wait. So currently at my house, there's a photographer taking my house listing pictures. That's right, because we are listing our house next week. No bandages today, Franny. Hi, Odie. How's it going, girl? I've behaved myself this week. Honestly, I haven't got very much sewing done because I've been playing catch up from being gone for a week. Cindy Matthews says, I did my sewing earlier today, backing, prep, and binding for a small wall hanging I still have to quilt. Good job, girl. Good job. Elizabeth says, have you ever moved? About Luna, a different topic. Have you ever moved her to adult food? We are ready and looking for recommendations for Maggie. So I will tell everybody about the move. Don't worry. No one panic. I am not leaving. Well, I am leaving Sandpoint, but not. I'll tell you in just a minute. So we have not moved Luna Lou to her adult food yet because she is still really light. She only weighs 54 pounds. And so I was kind of waiting till she started kind of fattening up a little bit before I changed her. We do not feed a grain free. I know it has grain in it because I've read enough stuff about that to know that I want to keep her on grain. Elizabeth Showers says in capital letters, moving again? Are you Wonder Woman? Apparently. Okay, so I'll back up the story of moving. So my husband and I have been rather nomadic in the last couple of years. And when we got to Sandpoint last year, we felt like for the first time we were home. First time in like almost a decade. It felt like we were home. And so we it's kind of a long progression, but we basically bought a house, the house that we're living in now in the town of Sandpoint. And we both kind of felt like when we first got there that it wasn't a long-term house, which was really a disappointing feeling to someone who's been nomadic for the last couple years. And I really wanted it to feel like the house was the right house, but honestly, I knew within 2 weeks we weren't staying there. And we had come here originally to buy this other house, a house that was on property, that was a fully built out like homestead with off grid features and fruit producing trees and, just room, elbow room. And that was kind of why we had come here. And the house we wanted to buy wasn't ready when we needed a home. And so we ended up buying this house in the city, and both of us knew that it was probably not going to be for more than a few years. Fast forward to a week before the store reopened, and this would have been the week before Labor Day this summer. I got a call from the owner of the house that we want to buy that this was going to be their last winter there. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, have got to be kidding me. So sure enough, we met with them and talked about all the things, and we set a preliminary close date for April, and now it's been bumped to June. But my husband really wants to catch the beginning of the market here, so he wants to get the house that we're currently living in on the market as soon as possible. So we've chosen Valentine's Day, and that the new house is the new old house is out in an area of town that is, you basically have to kind of know someone to be able to buy there, and we have an inn. So yeah, we're moving again. Lord help me. We're moving. It has, the house has everything. I mean, it just has everything. It has everything that we have always talked about wanting. So it will be the last move for a long time. They can pull my cold dead body out of there. I don't want to move. Again, we were so sure that this current house that we're living in wasn't the forever house. We never really unpacked. So we don't really have that much, like, we never even hung pictures on the walls because it just didn't feel like our house. So I know it is, Kathleen, it's a way better fit for us. Let's see here. Polly says, I was going to say you are crazy moving again, but I totally understand if it didn't feel like home. Yeah, it's true. It didn't, it just, I seriously wanted it to feel like home. I wanted it to be the last move, and then it just isn't. This one is the last move. Oh, we're getting some dog food recommendations, Elizabeth, over on Facebook. So Karen, Franny, Andy did marry Annette. It's true. Karen says science diet lamb and rice for large breeds is what our breeder recommended to our English cream golden. She was ready to transition to a little adult food. She is also a Luna. Oh, you have a Luna too? That's so fun. Well, there's 7 acres. You could put up glam tents, Kathleen. Let's see. Odie says they feed a plant-based food for their Aussie Shepherd Red Healer, as he's allergic to poultry, bison, fish, and some beef. Good Lord. Lord. That's quite an extensive list. So on top of this not being a particularly grand season 2 move because of how busy the store is, yeah, Andy's pretty much organizing the whole thing and will be doing most of it without me because I have so many road trips coming up for a featherweight doctor that I'm really not actually going to be around very much this spring. So thank you, Nancy. Thank you. So hopefully you guys can send some prayers, good vibes to Andy because he might lose his ever loving mind. Like literally we could be moving at quilt camp. Literally. I haven't even told you guys the best part. So, if for some crazy reason our city house sells quickly, guess where I get to live? In my 27-foot travel trailer. Yep, we're gonna be homeless again. Franny, you'll meet Andy someday. I'm sure of it. You guys, you better not be getting. Yeah, no, literally, I think that's what's happening. Yep. Oh, thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. Since the pictures for the listing are being taken today, it became a little realer today. So it's been a little bit of a rough day. I actually was at home and Reagan was going to do the show because I had to go help um, with the photography and then I had to come back in. So, yeah, just shut up in the shop. Right. We could totally do that. There's a gym across the parking lot. We could just shower there. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't freak out, Darlene. Oh, there you go. I like Polly's suggestion. She says quilt camp might turn into a moving party. I like that. All right, let's see. All right, half square triangles. You are welcome for the suggestions, Elizabeth. I'll have to ask my vet next time I see him about when to transition. Oh, shoot. I just did the cardinal rule of featherweights, which is I didn't hold my threads and I de-threaded my needle, of course. Oh, Kathleen, what? You had to live in a camping trailer with 2 men for 5 summer months? Yikes. You went to the neighbor's house to shower and shave your legs. There literally is a gym across the parking lot. So I can always sign up for a membership there and, go over and take my showers if I need to. There's actually a lot of people here that do this kind of thing, live in temporary housing like that while they're waiting for houses to be built or properties to come available. It's actually more common than you might think for some reason here. So probably because of the cost of the housing. But oh, that doesn't sound good. Morticia, what did you do? You never want to hear that crunch, 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 crunch. It was a long summer. All right. So someone hit me with something funny because I have to tell you, it's been a week. Hit me. I had the cutest new client come in this week. Her name's Lori. She's a local gal. Hi, Cindy Hinkle. And Jen, are you in the background? Emma was flying on 2 wheels. Yes. So hi, Mel. Hi. So this gal came in. Her name's Lori, and she signed up for some of the classes in this quarter schedule, and she was in my beginning machine quilting class on Wednesday. And later on Wednesday night, I get this message. Well, so while she's in here, she's like a 90s, maybe even early 2000s singer. Need I say anymore? And I flinched when Polly. I flinched when Morticia made that noise too. I was like, oh no, not on camera, girl. Not on camera. Anyway, so her machine was giving her a little trouble, and she's like, I really don't like this machine, but it's all I have right now, and da-da-da. And while the class was going on, some gal brought in her featherweight for service. And she looked at after the lady left, she looked at me, she goes, I think I have an old sewing machine in my attic. And I was like, really? And I said, oh, that's awesome. And she said, I said, is it in a little black box or is it like a wooden box? And she goes, I don't know. She goes, I need to find out. So I literally got an email from her later on that night that she sent her husband up in the attic and he found a featherweight up there. She said it's been up there for like 10 years. They bought it at a garage sale for like $40. And it was her husband who bought it thinking it was really cute and wanted to use it as decor. Oh, no, years, not hours, not 10 hours. Did I say 10 hours? I'm really tired. Um, and anyway, y'all, she has a featherweight. And I got to be the one to tell her all of the cool things about her machine. Like, she was like, you would have thought I told her she won the Mega Millions. She was so excited. Well, and rightly so. It's a featherweight. Oh, I got something. Anyway, so she brought it in and I'm going to service it. I know, $40. I'm going to service it for her. And I told her that she should use it for the class, the piecing class that she's in with me, that, she'll put it through some exercise and really figure out the ins and outs of the machine. And, yeah, so I think she's going to do it. So how fun is that? I got to be the one that introduced her to her next favorite sewing machine. She didn't even know she had it. I dated it already. It's a 1947, February 19th, 1947. So tomorrow is a big day. I am teaching this quarter's virtual featherweight spa day. I'm really excited. I have a handful and a half of ladies that are joining me on camera via Zoom tomorrow and learning all of the things about how to take care of their machines. I'm pretty excited. I know. You know what, guys, I would like to say that's the first time that's happened where someone had one and they didn't know they had it, but it actually has happened to me multiple times. Kathleen, you had a friend find a machine in the trash? What? Can you imagine how many people throw them away not realizing what they are? Oh, it's terrible. Oh, Fran, what? She said she hasn't sewn on either one of her featherweights. Probably because you hate piecing. I had another customer recently who's actually in the same class who recently kind of lost her husband, and he had been very ill for a while. And so she had been his caretaker for a couple years and kind of had lost herself in that. And now that he is passed, she's starting to kind of come out of her shell a little bit. And I remember she's the mom of one of my good friends. She was saying, you gotta come over and talk to Bonnie because she is having trouble with her sewing machine. And I'm like, Sonia, I'm not really good with the modern sewing machines. Is what kind of sewing machine it is? She goes, I don't sew. I have no idea what it is. So anyway, I went over to that house. This was within the last 6 weeks or so, and was talking to Bonnie, and she was having trouble with her embroidery machine. I'm like, oh, I am definitely not your girl for embroidery. I said, I like working on those little black antique ones from like the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And she goes, I have an old sewing machine. And she literally says, Sonia, that's her daughter-in-law, go grab that machine off the porch for me. And I thought, that better not be a featherweight outside in the elements on the porch. And it was. Oh, trust me, did she get a scolding from me? I was like, you put baby in a corner? No. So now Bonnie has her featherweight out. She's using it all the time. She's taken 2 classes with her. I think she's pretty much given up on that brother embroidery machine. I'm like, you don't need any other machine than this, Bonnie. Cindy says, how fun, so cool. That's almost my story. Found it hidden in the basement after having one already. Kept dreaming literally of getting another one. And found it all the way on the back shelf. in the basement. Never remember having it. Cindy Hinkle? What? How do you not remember? Is it like when I signed up to teach all these Sew Expo classes and didn't remember that I signed up for doing that? Kind of like that? Yeah, all the machines are working that have come to me. I mean, even the one that was on the porch, it was safe in her box. Baby in a corner. Come on, that's my Dirty Dancing reference. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Oh, you use your embroidery designs to quilt or machines to quilt? Yeah, I could totally see that. Polly says our neighbor was throwing out her featherweight. She had lost the foot controller. Thankfully, she knew I sewed, so she knocked on before throwing it in the skip. My gosh. Oh, that's terrible. One for my great aunt, one for my sister in the basement, and the other one. Oh, nice. Nice. Very cool, guys. All right, let's see. I'm kind of to the pressing portion of this class. Actually, I guess I have to cut first. Woo! My seam ripper. Let me switch my camera over here. Okay, let's switch this camera over here. There. Oop. That's light. Okay, there. Well, you're going to lose my head here. There we go. Okay, I'll do some cutting. Hi, Anna York. Hello, I'm new and from Southwest Missouri. Hi, thanks for saying hello. Hi, Beth. Just the girl sit. We sent a photo. Oh, you sent a photo? Shoot. I have my phone. Hang on. I'll get it out in a minute. I have to turn off the other camera. I'm cutting my half square triangles. Very important. What's this going to look like? Oh, my block? It's going to look like... I'm not sure which one I'm working on. Hold on. Oh, this one. It's a 26-inch block. Okay. We're Anna, we're just hanging out. We're not doing anything too serious around here. Friday night is my sip and sew. So I'm sipping and I am just piecing on my featherweight. Do you sew, Anna? Oh. So Polly said, unfortunately, my bestie was over at the time and my neighbor knocked, so I had to give it to her once it was serviced, of course. Well, yeah, we are the service technicians. You're a good friend, Polly. What am I? I am making a Tula quilt. I know everybody is super surprised about the fact I am making a Tula pink quilt. I'm starting to get really excited about the Deja Vu, the newest Deja Vu, which is what do you call it? The not Parisville, Nightshade, the Halloween one. Oh, someone help me! I'm gonna buy every single piece. You got one bigger, is 25 square. Yeah, that's a big quilt. Mel's been doing some painting. I was talking to her yesterday. She Mel is a maker, so she sometimes chooses to, use her paintbrush, and sometimes she chooses to use her featherweight. Okay. Oh, we're going to press towards the dark side. All right. Okay. All right, let's see here. Oh, this little iron is a friend's iron. It's a cordless one, which I kind of like. All right, so I got my pieces. I gotta press out my strip pieces. So Valentine's Day is next week. I had a show last year, but it falls on the wrong day of the week this year. So I do not have a show that night. But does anybody have any plans? I was wondered why it sounded like Darth Vader. It's because it's steaming. John Williams. Hi, Margie. Oh, you're Beth's friend. All right. So Margie, Shirley, and Beth, huh? The three amigos. Kim Warren says, "Oh my goodness, your iron. I am loading the dishwasher and suddenly heard Darth Vader." That's hilarious, you guys. You know, my husband calls my this sewing machine Vader because she's a black side, so she's got the black. See the black faceplate? I'm like, her name is Morticia. Thank you. Let's see. Mary wants to make another quilt from Zonko, but doesn't want to read the directions because, like me, hard to understand all the cutting instructions. Which one? The Astra one? Which one does she want to make, Franny? How far is your new place from the shop? We are, so I live right now in the opposite direction, about 10 minutes. So we're in downtown Sandpoint, actually technically South Sandpoint. The store is located in Ponderay. The force is with you, Kim. And then the new house is going to be out in Hope, Idaho, which is, if you look at the lake of Ponderay, it kind of looks like an ear, like a hanging ear. So if this is the ear, this is Sandpoint on the tip. And then up here is Hope. So we're about 18 minutes up around the north end of the lake. The view is spectacular. Like over the Pack River Delta, it's crazy, crazy, crazy beautiful. So I've heard good things about the Astra pattern. I haven't made it personally, but I have friends that have made several of them, and it goes together pretty easy, but there's a lot of cutting. I have to tell you guys another story about this gal. So this gal comes in or calls the shop and wants to know if there's someone here that can help her with a quilt pattern. Yes, I can help you with a quilt pattern. So she comes in. Y'all, she's like a minute old. Like, she can't be in her 30s. She's young. And she's, I got an iron for his Oh, yes, we are moving again, Kim Warren. Yes. Is the floating restaurant open now? I don't know if the floating restaurant is open, but there's another new restaurant that's open at Holiday Shores, and it's called The Drift. It's so good. And then the chef that did at the gas station, there's a chef, you heard me, chef at the gas station, culinary trained in San Fran, came back to take care of his mama and turned a gas station into like a 5-star restaurant. Took over the Beyond Hope restaurant. So now it's called Pearls, and it's Chef Alex, and it is absolutely like delicious. So anyway, this new quilter came in. She's like a minute big. Oh, Shirley found another souvenir here in San Antonio, number 7 for her collection. We need a name for her. Call her Darlene. Oh, thank you, Bernadette. Anyway, so this gal comes in. She's has like this what looks to be scrap fabric, and she's like trying to put together these angles. It's just a lot of different half square triangles. It's very confusing. She tells me that she has never taken a quilting class. She only has been on YouTube, y'all. YouTube. YouTube has its place. Thank you, YouTube, for giving me a platform. But for education, there's no substitute for being in a classroom with a teacher hovering over you, saying things like, you could do it that way, but it would be better if you did this and then fill in the blank. YouTube can't do that for you. So I don't have a Darlene yet. Good work. Anyway, so we're talking and I said, just bring your stuff in. Let me help you with the top. Bring your stuff in. I'll help you figure it out. So she shows up and she has this fabric and it's like all different shades of green and it's not quilter's cotton. It is like duck cloth and broadcloth and I was like, oh, is this more of your sample pieces? And she looks at me, she goes, sample pieces? This is my project. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, because she went to like Joann's with a certain vision of what she wanted to make in her head and then wasn't finding the colors that she was looking for. And so then started walking up and down other aisles outside of the quilter's cotton aisles. And so anyway, I said, did you wash this? Because one of the fabrics looked like it wasn't machine washable. And I know, Bernadette. I said, well, you got one thing going for you. Bernadette says, I just love it when people dive in like that. I'm like, you're fearless. I'm like, that's a good qualification for a quilter. You're fearless. So anyway, she's like, I did wash it. And I'm like, okay, good. Then we should be okay. Because I was worried about something shrinking at a different rate of speed. This is a baby quilt for a friend of hers. And anyway, so I'm starting to help her kind of put together her triangles into like squares and that kind of thing. And I'm explaining to her how you line up the flat edges and the 90-degree corners and all of that. And nothing is really lining up right. Like things were just slightly off. And I was like, hey, I think you may have some of your pieces might be the wrong size. She goes, well, that's possible. Everybody sit down when I say this. I don't have a rotary cutter or a ruler or a mat. I just cut these out with scissors. And I'm like, what? And in the nicest way possible, I was like, you need to make an investment in some tools for your new hobby. Bernadette, if she needs help with tailgating flying geese, I'll let her know where to find you. Seriously, she cut with scissors triangles, and they were like really good, but clearly not perfect because she wasn't using a rotary cutter or a ruler or a mat. I mean, so funny. And then I'm like, so we're putting it together and I'm like, you would really benefit quite a bit from like a formal class. Like, I'm not trying to like be pushy or anything, but like she clearly is fearless, first of all, and she's willing to try anything. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you the best part. Oh my gosh. So as we're sewing, like looking at our seam allowances, and they're really, really big. And then she had like one of those 1980s, 1990s singers, like the other lady who just found the featherweight in her attic. And I was like, that's not a 1/4 inch foot, right? She goes, what do you mean? And I said, the machines that came with the regular sewing machines are a 3/8 foot. They're not for making quilting seams with. And so I'm like, this is not going to come out the size that the designer wanted. I'm like, as long as you start the quilt on this machine and finish it on this machine, things should go together, but they're not going to be the right size. She's like, that's okay. And I'm like, okay. Hopefully she did not make any tool purchases yet. And she wants me to long arm this little gem. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Lord help me. Bless her heart. She was trying so hard. What with what she had. I know. I know. I know, Odie. I should show her AccuQuilt. Oh, Mel says, this is Confessions of the Early Quilter. She said, my first quilt I cut out with scissors. I labor of love, and I mean labor. Polly says, bless her. Now that shows you how passionate she is to give it a try and make it work. Bless her. And she won the lottery coming to see you. I hope so, because I was like, I just wanted to like foster this creativity within her, but like help her to have like the right tools so that her end result turns out the way she wants it to. So hopefully, I mean, literally, guys, she is not 30. She is not 30. She calls herself, a little old lady. She says her boyfriend knows that he's dating a little old lady because she just loves all things like crocheting and quilting. And I'm like, so anyway, it's been quite a week here. All right, friends, I think I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you for joining me. Monday should be back to normal. I will not be show hungover, traveling hungover. I will be back at 4:00 Pacific, talking about all things featherweight. If you're new to the featherweight, Monday is a great show to tune into because it's all featherweight education. Yes, ma'am, Polly. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight and hanging out, giving me some grace earlier on Monday. I needed another day off before I got back at it. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Get out of the house. Hopefully there's some sun in your neck of the woods, and get a little natural vitamin D out there. I think we all need that. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye.